we'll get going, and Reggie can kick us off, and then Tony, and then Juliette, Steve Mingle. I'll go in after that, and then maybe Tallulah, and then Isaac can finish the night off for us, if that's okay.
Works for me, yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, excellent. All right, I've not missed anybody out, God forbid. All right, next up is kick us off. Second half is Reggie Agulha.
Hello, everybody. Okay, so more serious tonight. Of course.
Drink.
Cheers.
All right. I'm gonna put some background music here to get some ambiance. All right, so I'm gonna do 2 readings. I'm gonna start with the first one called My Demons. And some background music. You might hear it or not, it doesn't matter. Well, here we go. It's called My Demons. I've got demons, and yes, they've got big wings. They carry heavy pieces of luggage, and inside each one, there are bags of memories, memories filled with regrets, glazed in low self-esteem. There are also neatly folded reparations waiting to be distributed. There are bricks filled with contempt, painted with a smile. I've got demons, 3 on each shoulder, and 1 in each ear. For years, I tried to shoo them away. Mistakenly, I thought they had gone away. Not my demons. They are masters in camouflage, and they can blend into any situation, any emotion, any conceived notion. They will hide like no other. I've got demons, and today I greeted them, embraced them, and even blew a kiss. Because now I understand that we are together, maybe forever. From here to some kind of eternity, my demons are me, who I am, and what I do. I can run, but I will never hide. Fighting them is useless. Knowing them is practical. Accepting them is useful. Would you like to say hello? Drink.
Is that Vincent?
All right. The next one. This one I worked on with Andy and Amanda in the workshop. And it's called Waking Up to a World That Is Not Your Own. So the idea was you wake up in this place that you don't recognize, but you kind of recognize at the same time. So I thought it was a nice piece to read tonight, since we are kind of all feeling a bit lost. So it's called Waking Up to a World That Is Not Your Own. Names and places and things have been changed to protect the innocent and the vulnerable, by the way. But a bit of background music to help as well. Waking up to a world that is not your own. The wind slamming on the single pane window awakes me. The room is cold and damp. Nothing looks familiar. The bed is a silver frame. It squeaks as I try to move from one side to another. The mattress is thick and the springs make my body bounce higher than expected as I try to get up. The sheets and the quilt that cover my body have the same smell as the room, damp and stale. The wooden floors are painted light blue, stained by patches of green mold. The walls are clear white and they feel cold. There are frames on the walls, watercolor paintings, images of mountains, lakes, rivers, horses, and coastlines. They are signed Abby, Abigail, and one says Abby, Abigail. There's a sound I recognize, a sound so familiar, so unmatchable. It's waves crashing. I can hear them, almost as if they were entering the room. I make my way to the window to see what is happening outside. There's a beach, there are waves, the tide is low. There is the house I'm in, there's a gate that leads to the entrance. There's a garden, a vegetable patch, and a flower patch. There's a bike, and it's chained to a wooden fence. Above the bike, there's a sign that says, Abby's, don't touch. I smell the smell of coffee coming from downstairs, and I can hear water boiling and the kettle whistling. There's a voice, and it shouts my name. It's calling me downstairs. I make my way down the steep stairs. I'm cold, and I've never been this cold before. The house is small, but the kitchen is so hard to find. I hear the voice again, but I don't know what it's saying, and I'm trying to make my way. There are two rooms, one with a fireplace, the other has books on shelves and a typewriter. She's in the kitchen, and I'm living with her, and life is good again. She smiles, and I notice this. My house, my cottage by the sea with Abigail. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks. Excellent stuff, Reggie, as usual. Thank you for that.
Great.
It's a fairly sober performance, actually. It is Vince, I reckon. I reckon you're on the wagon, mate. Excellent. Cheers for that. Okay. Next up is Tony Kinsella. Welcome, Tony.
Yes, Steve. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I know Andy likes it when I do my one-liner poem, so I'm going to do some of my one-liners that are all about 10 seconds long. So I'll either do about 16, 17, or until you all lose the will to live, whichever comes first. So this is my love life in a nutshell. I make love like a catalogue comes. I arrive in a jiffy every 2 months. This one's commitment issues. She said I was scared of commitment, so I took some professional advice. I had a really good counselling session, but couldn't be asked going back twice. And this one, with thanks for the help from William Shakespeare, it's called The Seventh of a Sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You're hot and sticky with the likelihood of damp patches in southern areas later. I managed to get that into 2 lines. It took Shakespeare 14. I'm 7 times better than him. Loving a limerick. My girlfriend and I are now through. I can't help but feel really blue. I said, will you still love me when I'm old, fat and ugly? And she said, of course I do. This one's called Tinder. I like to embrace technology in matters of the heart. I found a girl on Tinder. Her name was Joan of Arc. My heart skipped because Joan of Arc was burnt at the stake, you see, and it was during the Catholic Protestant schisms, and she was kind of burnt for her religion. And if you want to burn somebody at the stake, then Tinder is probably the most combustible type of wood that you can use, yeah? My heart's and Tinder is also a sort of dating app, so you can kind of swipe to the left or to the right, depending on whether or not you're interested in the person. My heart skipped a couple of beats when I won the raffle prize. They said it was a 3-piece suite. It turned out to be a Kinder Surprise. They're all from my little brown book, which is like my little red book, because nobody's ever read it. Brown book. I basically keep it in my back pocket. And I'm now going to read from my little fuchsia book. I said this was a pink book, but somebody said it's definitely not pink, so I decided to go back to the fuchsia. If there's a better fuchsia joke out there, I've yet to hear it. There's a bit of a name dropper. It's called Harold Pinter. Harold Pinter is really into big, long gaps. His plays are crap. This one's also a bit of a name dropper. It's called God. God made the earth in 6 days flat. I'm amazed by his level of power, especially when it's known to build the city of Rome took more than 24 hours. I found because there's an expression in English that Rome wasn't built in a day. So if you take it that God built the world in 6 days and on the 7th he rested, if it took more than 24 hours to build Rome, then it was 24 hours on Rome. I mean, give God a break. I found Shergar the other day. Well, I found his rotting corpse. I tried to sell it on eBay. It was like flogging a dead horse. Too soon? Iron Man saved the world from destruction. A man of honour, a light in the dark. Iron Woman is a sexist instruction, especially with a comma and exclamation mark. It's not particularly good, that poem, but it is grammatically accurate, and I think that's more important. It's called Worms. I opened up a can of worms, or how they wriggled, writhed and squirmed, but other than that, there were no significant consequences. There's an expression in English about opening a can of worms. It's a bit like letting the cat out the bag. So I'm nobody's hero. In fact, I'm a bit of a prat, but don't call me a zero because I'm 10 times better than that. You see, if you multiply anything by 0, it still comes out as 0. I once had allotment, but now I'm not. I really think I've lost the plot. He said, I love that volley you hit with the reverse of your racket, but was it really the shot that you meant? Which I found to be a rather backhanded compliment. I'll finish on 2 more inspired by other poets. This one's after Robert Herrick. Gather ye rosebuds while ye may, because the park shuts at 6:30. And this one's inspired by John Donne. No man is an island apart from the Isle of Man and Robin Island. I'm really proud of that one because I always wanted to write a poem about Nelson Mandela. Thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, brilliant.
Always love hearing those, Tony. Brilliant, man.
Excellent stuff, Tony.
Tony.
Yes.
You did set us a challenge. I believe it or not, I've got one. Did you? I'm not saying it's better than your fuchsia joke, but I've got one. You hear about the colourblind fortune teller?
No.
Yeah, she can only see the fuchsia.
That's much better than mine. Isaac.
I like to rise to a challenge.
Hey, Amanda, you know that question you were asking about what helps you through lockdown? Tony's poems.
Yeah. Yeah, Amanda agrees. We're on mute then.
Thanks, Tony. I like the explanations as well because, yeah, good stuff. Excellent. Okay, next person up is next reader is Steve Mingle.
Hello, hello. I'm like a bad penalty taker tonight because I've been umming and ahhing. Shall I go this way? Shall I go that way? What shall I do? And so it's obviously going to end in disaster. But there was a big musical element to the first half tonight. So I have got a couple of pieces that have got a high musical content themselves. Are you, just give us a nod, are you folk familiar with the band Talking Heads? Is that mainly nods?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'll go with it. Okay. This I spent all of my working life, and still a fair part of my life now, living down south. I moved down south in 1978, and this poem is called "A Pathological Hatred." It's not actually a poem. It's a story told in a kind of poetic way. It's called "A Pathological Hatred of You Two." 1980, 2 years down south already, close enough to the big city to visit these venues of legend that I'd read of so often in the NME, and which sounded so much bigger and better and brighter and more happening than anything our grey, depressed, run-down town had to offer. And they were. The Rainbow, the Marquee, the Electric Ballroom, the Roundhouse, and best of all, the Hammersmith Palais, where we'd always make the same old joke that we were the white men, even though the bands we saw there seldom attracted any blacks. The Clash, the Jam, the Stranglers, Costello and Jury, Patty and Susie, Blondie and Television, Buzzcocks and Joy Division. And tonight, our very first time, Talking Heads, full of animation on the Charing Cross Tane. No mobile phones, no iPods, just chatter about which songs we hope they'll play and how our various football teams are doing and what a tosser our boss is. A couple of beers in a real ale pub, rapidly diminishing in number, then it's off to Hammersmith to witness a gig for the ages. The support band are on already. They're not our cup of tea, but there's a mosh pit full of people who seem to really like them. We assume that the band members must have very large families, and they sound like they're from Ireland, so you wouldn't rule it out. And they go on and on, and on and on, and on and on. And we look at our watches and wonder when they're going to stop, because we have to catch the last train home. Their music's loud and bombastic, and the singer seems to think he's some sort of messiah. Though to us, he just seems like a bit of a dick. And we wish he'd get off the fucking stage, or at least say, and this is our last one for tonight. But they play another, and another, and yet another. And even after they finally take their leave, the raucous applause from their acolytes continues. And suddenly they reappear. What the fuck is going on? Support bands don't play encores, but this one does. And when they finish that, they dare to play another one before finally taking their leave. If they come back again, assassination may be the only option. As the house lights finally come on, the realization dawns that after the thrill of securing tickets for a gig that could have sold out 10 times over and weeks of anticipation and excitement, we'll now miss half the set and maybe even more than that. So we consider our options. We don't know anyone who lives in London. A hotel or a taxi back to darkest Kent are beyond our budget. A park bench on a cold December night would be taking things a bit too far, especially as we have work in the morning and we have to shower and shave and put our suits on so that we can revert to the pen-pushing stereotypes we're expected to be, rather than how we see ourselves. But that's the game we've chosen to play to allow us to experience nights like this, or at least like this one should have been. The lights dim, and David comes on alone with a ghetto blaster and psycho killer, and the crowd are silent, spellbound. Then the rest of the band, Tina with that bass that seemed way too big for her, then more and more musicians, and Izimbra. The African rhythms pulse through the floorboards. If your body doesn't move to this, then you're dead, which is what we wish that lead singer was. There are 12 of them up there now, so colourful, so animated, grins beaming, brows glistening, all intent on giving us the best night of our lives. It's going to be an I Was There gig, except that we won't be, because we have to catch the last train home. Then, once in a lifetime, oh my God, the moves that will become his trademark, a gospel chorus to make your spine tingle, same as it ever was, mesmerizing. How can we possibly leave now? This is once in a lifetime. We look at each other, each wanting one of the others to say, fuck it, let's enjoy it and worry about it later. But none of us do. We're all far too sensible. And with the unbridled enthusiasm of condemned men being led to the gallows, we make our way to the exit. 38 years later, just the two of us this time, still great friends, Brixton Academy, David Byrne, long since solo, and tonight, extraordinary, immersive, enthralling, captivating, embracing every emotion, evoking every emotion. Only live music can make you feel this way. It truly is a gig for the ages. My God, we've seen some crackers over the years, but there can't ever have been anything better than this, except maybe just that once. But we'll never know, because we had to catch the last train home. And as we leave the venue, drained, yet infused with that wonderful warm glow that comes with knowing you've been part of something truly special, we look at each other and know what we're thinking. Bono, what a fucking cunt.
Woo!
Never a true word said about Bono there.
Thank you.
So I realised I was on mute then. Okay, got a couple of people who are sort of come in late. I was going to, I know next up is Juliette, but just I'll go after Juliette and then Isaac. And then if Dre's got something, cool. And if Aunt Briscoe's got something, then I can finish it off. If not, then just, is that okay by you two guys who've just come in?
Absolutely.
Okay, Dre, there you are. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, and Ant, the same for you if you can hear me. If you want to read something, okay, we're doing okay for time. Okay, next up is Juliette Van Der Molen. Welcome, Juliette.
Hey, everybody. It's good to get away from the U.S. election. Thank you for having Speakeasy.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. The title of my poem is Electorate. Bricked in rain, Spickled sun to rainbow slapping window, lights on, lights off, go out. No, not that far out, stay in. Pinch the center, fold back the difference until it is one thing. Stay home, stay safe, stick your head out the window, clap or don't clap, it's all wrong. Don't jump, not yet. Read the side eye. We are collateral damage, strapped in for another U-turn, fire break, fire break, fire break. You're all too close. Where are the coins for her eyes? Ferryman payments will not be deferred. Lockdown here, not there. Where are we? In what tier? I am a data point. Are you okay? Brilliant. Our hands sparkle. We are all stars. Tier 5 plus 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 means nuclear. We go to ground. Don't even breathe. The door handle blazes. Save your palms. Put your hands in your pockets. Don't touch anything. Bonfires, self-combust. Remember November. Stay where you are. Grenfell echoes. Remember? Remember? Please Brexit the building in an orderly queue 2 meters apart. Tories, turn your heads. Pretend you don't know this. America is nobody's friend, and I swear there is chlorine in the chicken. Someone spin it. Tell us a story. Like when Dom's dog ate his homework, so he had to drive for hours. Bad dog. Curate the feed, smash the heart, thumbs up, like, hashtag it hard, misleading messages, Pied Piper tweets, pull out the plum, breathe into the echo chamber, don't scream, collapse the lungs, whistling air through pinpricks, 1,000 points of light. In this cavern of collective ribs, we all go viral. Thanks.
Juliette, have you got another one for us?
Yeah, that's all I got.
No, I wasn't. I was just, yeah. So you're welcome to read another if you've got one. But
no, I think I spent it all. Thank you.
Excellent stuff. Thank you for that. Okay. Sometimes I don't read if we've got a lot of speakers, so maybe I'll read a bit tonight. I'm actually in the process of writing a novella in Flash. And I don't know whether people are familiar with that form. It's anything. I'm actually doing a bit of a sort of. There's an American writer called Meg Pokras who I like, and I've just bought her novella in Flash, and she's doing a series of workshops on Facebook. So I'm sort of doing that. Yeah. And what it means, quite simply, is that you write flash fiction, which is anything between 300 and 1,000 words. And the flash fiction are standalone short stories, as in Flash, yeah? And the novella in Flash is almost, it's all those short stories can stand alone, but they're also linked by a narrative arc, yeah? Okay, so basically it's one long, together it's one long story. However, you can sort of read them as separate stories. So I've written something called Home, and it's about a man who goes to live with his dad. It's not unlike my situation, when his marriage breaks up and he's sort of staying at his dad's for a little bit. And he's sort of, and it's called Home, and it's what home means. Anyway, he's staying at his dad's for a bit. So, and it gets him thinking about various things, yeah? About various conversations he had with his dad and his relationship with his dad. This first, I'll read one. I'll read one that's called History. History. There's not a lot you can do with that. Dad was underwhelmed by my choice of degree subject. Yet when I told him I wanted to go to university, he sniffed his approval. First power to get a proper education, he said. Mind you, some of us never had the opportunity. Mum laughed. Opportunity? You left school a year early, George, she said. You were always wagging it. Nobody cared then, he said. Even though I got a 2-1, Dad thought I'd frittered away 3 years. What are you going to do now with your history degree, he said, while we were eating. Give the lad a chance, Mum said, rolling her eyes. He's not been back home 5 minutes. He needs to pay his way, Dad said, pointing at my tea with his fork. Food doesn't grow on the trees. I got a part-time job, bar job, and a place at a college in town with a city and guilds in printing. Printing? Now there's a trade. Dad nodded his approval. You should have done that when you left school. History. I loved the printing course and got a job at Partington Press as an apprentice while I went to college in the evening. I still worked behind the bar. This appeased Dad for a while, although he borrowed a book called World History Dates from a customer in his window cleaning round and would randomly fire questions, hoping to catch me out. I'd be in front of the mirror, blow drying my hair on a Saturday evening. You look more like a bird than those birds you bring home, Dad said. Take no notice, Mum said. When your father was your age, he had a bottle of olive oil on his hair. Teddy boys, proper hairstyle, Dad said. Duck's ass, Mum said. I'm going out, I said. Before you do, Dad said, how long was the 100 Years' War? Thanks. I'll read, it was good that for me to read that because I noticed I put, he sniffed his approval and nodded his approval, so I need to change that, yeah? But it's good to be able to read it out. If you indulge me, I'll do one more thing, and it's based on a sort of true thing that my dad did have a brother, a half brother he didn't know about, who had the same name as him, yeah? And he was actually born in the same year. And my dad's half brother was actually a poet, and I've got a couple of his collections. He worked on the railways, and he was a poet, yeah? And he was called Joe Smythe, like my dad. So my dad never really had anything to do with him, you know? So I've sort of based sort of that on this next bit on that. So if we can read that. I know normally I wouldn't read 2 pieces out, but they're a bit short and it'll help me in my editing process. So this is a short piece again, about 300 words. It's called Family. Dad's dad had a secret family. He had a son to a woman in the north of the city, as well as the 8 children he had with Gran. Did Grandad live with his secret family? I asked. Dad shook his head. No, he shacked up with another woman. Dad was 6 when Grandad left home. He never saw him again. Dad's half brother was born the same year as Dad. They had the same name, George Power. Dad met him only once. The other George Power tracked Dad down and introduced himself in a pub. By that time, Dad was 19 and knew about Grandad's secret family. Was it strange to find out you had a brother born in the same year with the same name as you? Not at all, said Dad when he finished telling me the story. What do you think? Of course it bloody was. Did you see him again? I asked. After meeting him in the pub? Nah, replied Dad. We didn't have that much in common. Besides the same father and name of being born in the same year as her. He drank shandy, Dad said. Huh? Looked like a weasel, Dad said. He was skinny and had small eyes. But you know what happened to him? About 25 years ago, I bumped into an old schoolmate of mine, Maurice Chalmers. George Power, he said. Thank God. I thought it could have been true. I asked him what he was talking about. He heard he got sent down, he said. 5 years for possessing a gun. Was your brother a gangster? I asked. Half brother, Dad said. He was a railway guard. Why did he have a gun? I don't know. Some of the people work on the railways. Where does he live? He doesn't. Lung cancer like your mum. Read it in the obituaries. When I saw my name, I thought he died and nobody told me. All right. Thank you.
See, but that second bit's got a heck of an ending, that has, mate.
Yeah, it's true. The guy did have he did do 5 years for possessing a gun, you know. So yeah, that's my family really.
I've got to say, I'm going to check out this your half uncle's poetry after that, because I love your stuff anyway. So
well, I used to go to something called Common Word on a Monday night. There used to be in town on the Quaker, you know, in the Quaker hall in down the town hall, and it was run by this Commonwealth Monday Night Writers group, and there used to be a picture of a bloke on the wall. And he looked familiar. Anyway, it was him. He was a founder member of Commonwealth. They published some of his poetry.
Wow, that's amazing, Steve.
Yeah, it's good as well.
You should go on Who Do You Think You Are?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, excellent stuff. Next up is Isaac Hughes-Dennis. Welcome, Isaac. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. My internet had a little tizzy, and yeah, subsequently lost yous for a while. But yeah, ukulele. You won't be saying that in a second, though. Unfortunately. My name's Isaac Hughes-Dennis. I do anti-spoken word songs. So, apologies if I'm not quite, I'm not quite accepted into the spoken word scene, but also not quite in the music scene either. I'm a bit of a hybrid in that sense. So, all complaints. It was Andy that booked me. So all complaints can go through Andy and not me.
Absolutely.
I've got. Hey up, sorry. So I've got this first song. I'm trying to avoid the US presidential election because no matter who you vote for, the government always get in. So it seems. Got this first song for some UK politics. I've got this first song for Rishi Sunak when he went on ITV and insinuated that all creative workers should continue retraining and get better jobs. And as a self-proclaimed protest singer, I felt it a moral obligation to write a song about it. But at the end of the day, if I'm not getting paid for it because all of my money's gone down the drain, then what's the point? So what follows is the most half-assed protest song you will ever hear in your life. It's called a song for Rishi Sunak, and it goes like this. Rishi Sunak, what a shame that nothing insulting rhymes with your name, because I've written you this half-assed song. It won't be very witty and it won't be very long, and it might be pretty shitty, but it won't be very funny, because I only give a shit when it's earning me money. Because I'm a bit like John Lennon and a bit like Bob Dylan in that I only get political if it makes me a shilling. But other than this, I don't have any transferable skills. Like, honestly, mate, I can't even play guitar, and evidently I can't even rhyme. I just talk a lot of shit all of the time, and I like to go on rambles and I talk a lot of bollocks, and I'm really good at making a big fuss over nothing. I use fancy words and I sound like a twat, and in the public eye, I'm a laughing stock. So with my current CV, are there any available positions? Because currently I'm sounding like a sorry politician. Oh, Rishi, please choose me. I've got a grade C maths in GCSE, and I've got one in English, so I know how to spell, and I've got one in IT for Microsoft Excel. What a shock to the ego and an utter disservice to have a Tory MP to call my job worthless. What absolute hypocrisy. It's fucking bleak. It's like having Shane McGowan telling you to brush your teeth. Without culture and the arts, you silly twat, we'll only have Coldplay, and take that. And no one wants that for their life soundtrack, so remember what a prat he is, Rishi Sunak. There you are, that's my first piece. Do I have time for a second one, you reckon?
Yeah, do loads more.
Oh, I'm so glad. Right, I tell you what, I'll give you a choice. I'll give you a choice between a sort of relatively gritty political one, or one that's just plain stupid, and it's entirely your choice.
Plain stupid.
Plain stupid. Right, wicked. You know, a while since I've played this one. This is a song that's not really relevant at the moment, given it's got colder. But it's a song for the unsung sort of sufferers of climate change, which are, of course, goths. It's called Goths in Hot Weather. And it's sort of a protest song, if you will. I do it. I hope it's not appropriation, but I do it from the point of view of a goth. So this one goes like this. I wanna be edgy, not one of the cool kids. No, I don't want to fit in. A nonconformist with my clothing. Want none of your Gucci, the rest head to toe in white. And trainers from Nike. That's so nice. Oh yes, I'm a gothic, a glamorization of the mentally ill, because black is the color of hell, which fits my personality so well. I find the darkness reflects the bleakness of my soul. I look like I've been covered in coal. One look at me, you're staring down the barrel of a black hole. But then the sun comes up and I am melting. My leather-studded jacket sweltering. The sun gets in my eyes. That's fine, I needed an excuse to cry. Oh, the sun comes up and I am melting. I'm really hating global warming. It's becoming such a real bother when you're a dwarf in hot weather. I tried an umbrella or sun cream to keep me paler. Both of these were a complete failure. I'm feeling like my hero Dracula. Dehydration causes me great perspiration. What an unpleasant sensation. My black cravat is now covered in sweat. Oh no, oh no, oh well. At least I know now what it's like in hell. It's warm and damp with a BO smell. Black hair dye trickling down my face, I start to yell. Because the sun comes up and I am melting. I'm really hating global warming. The sun gets in my eyes. That's fine, I needed an excuse to cry. And the sun comes up and I am melting. Amazing what I'll do for a fashion statement. Oh, why do I even bother being a goth in hot weather? It's fine if you don't think about it too much. In hot weather. Right, so here's where it gets sort of obscure and you have to stick with it for a cheap gag at the end, if that's all right. It was a Thursday when my owner took me to the shops, bear with us, and the temperature was notably hot. He said, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, as he parked in the parking lot and shut the car door. Some could say it was attempted murder. I'm so sorry. Oh, my word, my microphone dropped. I'll go from here. He shot the car door. Some could say it was attempted murder. I said I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and it turned out to be an hour. Because the sun was up and I was dying. I sweat so much. I started crying. I'm scratching on the windows. I start to shout, somebody please let me out, because goths are much like children and dogs. They don't stop whining and they won't shut up. And they get too hot in hot cars. Yes, goths die in hot cars. So write to your local politician, kick up a fuss, start a petition, raise awareness for emos, sweating to death in Renault Clios. Or steampunkers in the back of Vauxhall Corsas, or grungies in the back of a Hyundai, or punks locked in the back of car trunks, or goths, well, goths die in hot cars. They look so moody in the back of a Suzuki. Unlock your Audi to get them out. See, goths, they die in hot cars. If you take them out, keep them out of hot cars for a nice day out. Could be made so sad if your goth were to die in hot cars. If your goth were to die in hot cars. There you are. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Oh, thank you. I'll do a shameless plug as well that next Tuesday, or rather this Tuesday, the next Tuesday coming, I'll be streaming from my good friend Attila the Stockbrokers. page. It's called Until the Stockbroker Introduces, and every Tuesday he's got a musician or a poet that he wants to showcase, and so I'll be next Tuesday. So it'd be lovely to see some of you here. And yeah, no, thank you for a lovely evening as well. It's been top-notch quality so far. I'm really looking forward to listening. Cheers.
You're a great addition to the evening, mate. Great stuff.
Oh, thank you very much. Cheers.
Great, that.
Just mate. I'll book you again.
Read the comments. Read the comments, Isaac.
Yeah. Thanks, Isaac. Thank you for that. If you want to put, I don't know, maybe put it on Facebook, mate, or something, put the links on. Or, yeah. And I'm very impressed by the rhyming of car door with murder, I have to say.
It's a bit of a stretch. I think goth and hot weather, bother and weather was more of a stretch. There's some questionable ones in there. So if you don't think at all about my rhyme scheme, then it's genius.
Oh, it's all good, mate.
It's not, it's yeah.
Very inventive. Excellent stuff. Thanks, Isaac. Okay, last but by no means least, it's welcome back to DrayZera.
Hello, good evening. I am mild-mannered man today. Hello, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I've got 2 poems for you guys, and this first one is titled "A Tyrant Ant." This is literally the life of an ant, but it can be extrapolated in many ways. It goes like this. Minuscule I may be, with teeny weeny legs, stamping on cold pavement, soiled by the souls of the human race, embodied by man-made damage. We are dying. We are the little ones that the skyscraper men and women contaminate. Us ants, we may be minute, with teeny weeny antennae, stamping the ground with the cold chill air. We are intrepid and desperate. This Sisyphean work, this Promethean life, a curse, until the day we fall in the gravel. That was a tyrant ant, and I've got one more poem for you. So this poem is called Root of the Nile. This is all about kind of the therapeutic kind of mindset of which, you know, you go through stuff in your mind, and yeah, it's kind of a very therapeutic poem. It goes like this. It is never my fault. This river torrent and crashes lies with iron dams grinding me down. People slandering and back-chatting me with weaponry words, bruising and assault. Because it's never my fault. This stream flows pebbles developing into sharp stones stagnating the waves. It is never my fault. Typhoon tyranny storms these veins in this torrential rain of agony. Upon these deadlocked grains, these repugnant stains, trying to crash my world, I ask myself why. It is never, ever my fault. The drip, drip of your spewing distaste, the stab, stab of your ruptured disgrace, over and over and over and over again, from beginning to end. You believe that it's all my fault. Sickening, disgusting. Your revolt is repulsive. Your sick perturbs my feet, sinking in your rust. There is no trust from this stale tribulation where there are no mitigations, no words spent listening to my voice. You laugh at my downfall and continue your bastard celebrations. It is never, 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 ever my fault. Yet the whole world spears itself away. My knees fall, shooting pain through gritted teeth. Nobody wants to play. Barking at me to go away, a chewed up toy. This island, population of one, sinking fast within this burning ocean sun. My skin cracks without a hand to hold. My warmth freezes without a hug to cool. I am sorry for everything I've done. It is all my fault. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Much love and pasta. And yeah, hopefully whoever this mask guy is that looks a lot like me, you may have seen him. Hopefully he'll come back one day. But anyway, thanks.
Thank you.
We're in lockdown tomorrow. You better get that mask back on.
Fantastic, Tom. Listen, guys, that's it. You know, brilliant. What a great night. I hope people have enjoyed it as much as I have. And I mean that as well. It's been wonderful stuff tonight. Everybody, spot on.
Yeah, it was really good.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Really good night, that.
Really enjoyed the last 25 minutes I was here. I wish I was here earlier, but I was elsewhere. But I'm glad I showed up on time. And forever, I will never know why Andy and Amanda are suddenly back in time with their camera. But I guess we'll never know.
You have to be here at 8 o'clock to find out.
Twilight zone. They're in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. It's a
I
it's
guess
a couple
we'll never
thing.
know.
It's a couple thing. We can't get into it.
We've gone back in time to try and avoid the lockdown. I think we've gone a bit too far with the time machine.
Oh man, I bet. You have to say, your fashion, Andy, in 1960s, you're well ahead of time, I have to say.
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know either. Right, seriously, before we go, the next speakeasy is going to be first Wednesday in December as normal. I'm going to be taking bookings from this Sunday at midday again. So anybody, I'll mention to everybody in passing on Facebook and stuff. If you want to get a slot for December one, give me a shout to either email or Facebook from about midday on this Sunday coming. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to finish you say, Steve, when we finish up, mate.
No, I was just going to ask you that, Andy. I was just going to say, yeah, just, you know, is there anything you want to say about the next one? But we're lovely to see everybody there again. You know, I think we've built a sort of really good sort of online community here. I would speak easy, and you know, and stay safe, look after yourselves, and keep in touch.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you ever so much. Cheers.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Great night. Cheers, guys.